As mankind starts to ascend spiritually, there are going to be many questions on what's the nature of our reality. Science, philosophy, and religion will all have their explanations. Welcome to my channel, Soul Traveler 369. My name is Corey, and over the next 10 minutes, we will be discussing what I have found to be the absolute truth about the nature of our reality based on my out-of-body experiences. So let's dive in. First, we live in what's called the construct. And within this construct, there are many souls all playing their part. There's also an infinite amount of constructs. So we're not even the only souls in the construct, and this construct is not even the only one that exists in the totality of reality. Before we get into the construct and the nature of reality, I want to start with just some basic principles of things that I found out through my out-of-body experiences. Outside of our physical form, we are infinite souls, meaning that we exist beyond time and space, and we are the co-creators of not only this construct, but multiple other constructs throughout our reality. I say co-creators because on the other side, what you think manifests instantly. So if you're manifesting a whole world that you want to create, that will instantly manifest for you to experience, because that is basically what our souls do through eternity, which is just delight in our experiences. So if there's a certain experience you want to have, on the other side, you can create the atmosphere for you to have that experience, whether it be a world, whether it be a universe, whether it be something simple as a dream realm, or whatever you want to create on the other side, you can, because you are creation. What many consider God is just consciousness, founded from pure love frequency. And all of us are fractals of that same consciousness. So in essence, ye are gods, and God is us, and we are all one. I think that simple foundation is very important when trying to understand the nature of our reality. This is why you get verses like Psalms 82 and 6 that say ye are gods. And then you even have Jesus, who comes along in John 10 and doubles down on Psalms and tells us ye are gods when challenging the Pharisees. Again, this foundation is important for us to get because it's going to challenge some of your belief systems, right? There are a lot of things that we've been believing our entire lives. There are belief systems that were set up to entrap us in our experience here on earth. These belief systems you've probably carried with you from the time you were a baby up until now. And those are very hard to shake. I know, because I had a lot of those same belief systems growing up. I grew up in a very religious household. My grandmother was a preacher. We grew up in a holiness type church where women couldn't even wear pants, and it was like the most conservative type of atmosphere when you talk about religion. But as I started to ascend spiritually and have a greater understanding of not only the Bible, but the other texts that are out there, I soon understood that a lot of my belief systems were pre-programmed. These are things that were already programmed in me, and I agreed to experience when I came here. But ultimately, I knew that there will come a time. I agreed to come here to experience this and also experience a time where I would be more enlightened, where I would have spiritual growth, and I would understand the nature of reality. And at that time, that's when I met Darius J. Wright. And he opened up my whole world to all the things that I knew existed, but couldn't confirm because I didn't have the ability to have control out-of-body experiences. So let's dig in. What is the construct? What exactly is that? What that is a domed creation similar to this. And within that creation, there are 12 realms or 12 heavens. And each one is assigned, is a template in which souls can delight within the construct within that template. So think of it like a video game with 12 levels to it. So you come into the construct, you're born into the construct, and you get to operate in each one of the 12 levels. So you will have played, or for lack of a better term, played in each one of these 12 levels. Level 1 is Earth, and that is the hardest level because you have polarity, you have time and space, you have matter, you have all these physics terms that contribute to what I like to refer to as more of like a soul trap. So you're kind of here and you're trapped you're confined. I won't say trapped. You're confined to certain things that outside of realm 1 you're not confined to. Like I said, time, matter, polarity, right, wrong, left, right, duality, things of that nature. And like I said, realm 1 is the bottom realm, is the hardest realm, but there are realms above that. Realm 2, the galactic realm. You got the realm of the halls of Amenti. You have the realm, the heavenly realms. You have the angelic realms. You have realms that, or heavens, which is what we're now kind of calling it more so in our group. We have those 12 heavens, and each heaven is a different template in which that soul can participate in and delight itself in and have that experience. Now, this I can guarantee you. Whether you decide to learn how to do control out-of-body experiences, whether you do astral projection or remote viewing as they call it, no matter what you do, whether you believe what I'm saying or not, you all are going to find out the truth of all things once you die. That is the time where your soul leaves your body and it goes back to the home that it was originally sent from. This is not our home. This is only a brief experience within the multitude of experiences we've had in existence. Again, you got to remember, there is no linear time outside of this construct. So there's no past, present, future. Everything just exists all the time. Everything, past, present, future, all exist in one time, and you just exist. And I think that's important for you to know. Understanding how time works on that side, that's important for you to know, because it's hard to grasp some of these concepts if you can't grasp the fact that there is no past, present, and future once you leave Earth. So once you leave your body, your soul, your true essence of who you are leaves your fleshly form. You are you. You are you when you leave here. When you die, you are still you as you are today. You're just a more fuller version of yourself because you've had more experiences and you start to remember all of the experiences you've had. So you're a fuller version of who you are today. You're not a different person, a better person, worse person. You're who you are with all the fullness of your experiences that you've gained over eons of going to different templates within this construct, going to other constructs, building your own constructs even. So it's important to understand that here in realm 1, a lot of what you experience as reality is experienced through your 5 senses: sight, touch, smell, hearing, taste. That's pretty much what you are experiencing here in the earth realm. Now, a lot of what you are experiencing is only experienced through the light spectrum, and that is a small part of what reality is. As a matter of fact, it allows you to see, I believe 0.0035% of all of what is in reality. So you're only getting a small dosage of what you will ultimately experience once you die and move on back to your home. Or if you're having control out-of-body experiences, you can experience that right here on Earth and be able to confirm a lot of the things that you believe or don't believe and be able to see for yourself. Now, I've stated in a previous video, you can watch my video on going to the galactic realm and meeting the 4 Lyran beings. And I've had other experiences where I've met beings actually in my own home. So I can confirm what I've seen is real, what I've touched is real. All this stuff is real, and it's not a hallucination. I don't do any drugs. I don't do any of that stuff. So I know for a fact that what I've experienced is a real thing. So again, being that you're in the 12 heavens, and earth is one of the heavens, so it's heaven 1, and you go all the way up to 12, and then the 13th heaven is the one that encapsulates the entire construct, which is what you saw in the previous image. And I wanted to give Darius props. He created that image of the construct dome, so you can see that and have a kind of idea. Again, that is not perfect or 100% accurate, but it is the most accurate thing he could develop to kind of give you an example of what our construct looks like. Now, in my out-of-body experience, I've obviously experienced realm 1, which is Earth. I've been outside of my body and kind of walked around in real time in Earth while my body was lying on my couch, and I've talked about that in the video as well. I've also experienced the second heaven, the galactic realm, where I was actually able to go into a star, which is, stars are not what NASA's telling you they are. They're mostly stargates. So they're gates in which you can go to different realms and kingdoms, or heavens and kingdoms, in your soul form. So your soul can traverse these. And as you go up, these beings in these other higher heavens can come into your heaven, but you can, from my experience, you can only go into the next heaven in the soul form. So you got to leave your fleshly body here in order to go into those additional heavens. I've also experienced the halls of Amenti. So again, you can watch that video to get a little more detail on it, but that was a time period. That is another template that we have all participated in and our souls have experienced. And this was the time during the time of the Anunnaki, the Lemurians, the Atlanteans, all of that, Atlantis, all that stuff was during that particular time. This is where you get the pyramids. All of the pyramids were built. This is where all of the information is stored in those pyramids, which is interesting. Now we're starting to find out that the pyramids, the original, what we thought that original structure was, is incorrect, and it's much bigger structure, which that's something Darius was telling us years ago, that, you know, these were bigger structures that have been covered by dirt during the last flood. So again, I've experienced being in the halls of Amenti, being able to look around and see the pillars and the columns and the white marble floors and books on top of podiums everywhere. And that kind of, I explained that in one of my other videos as well. And at this point, I'm still having out-of-body experiences so that I could experience different heavens and see different things, and have different information downloaded so that I can share that in my videos and share that with you guys. Now, I want to be very clear. I'm not special. Anybody can do this. As a matter of fact, you are doing it. Every night when you go to sleep, your soul isn't just laying inside your body. It's going out and doing things. You just can't remember it because that is part of the agreement, that you cannot remember it because you go to sleep unconsciously and then your soul leaves your body. Well, with the ADA method, which Darius J. Wright teaches us, it teaches us how to stay conscious while we put our body in sleep paralysis, and then the soul can exit the body. And once you exit your body, you're just as physical. You can see all things. You can traverse the universe. You can go anywhere you want. You can even go outside of the construct and be able to see the construct, which I stated in another video, where I was able to be in an office where it had like multiple different constructs in that one area that I could see and look into. So you can leave the construct, and all of this is stuff that you will be able to do once you die. It is exactly what you will do. So it's not even again, now we're just getting a sneak preview of what it means to be going absent from this physical form and into your soul form, and being able to see everything, see behind the veil, so to speak. Now, within the 12 heavens, there are multiple kingdoms in each heaven. So this is how complex this thing is. I don't want anybody to think that this is some kind of simple design. This is very intricately designed. So within each heaven, there's 12 of them. There are multiple kingdoms within all of these different heavens. So now you're not just going to different layers, you're going to different kingdoms within each layer and having different experiences. This is how a soul could be in the construct for eons and having multiple experiences and different on different levels. So being an angel in the angel realm, being a god in the god realm, living in the times of Atlantis in the and around the Anunnaki in the time of the halls of Amenti, like being in the galactic realm, understanding the different alien races, the Greys, Pleiadians, all of these different beings that exist and still do exist. Now, the great thing about this is at some point our construct will come to an end. The entire thing will come to an end, and it's being predicted that that's going to happen pretty soon. Simply because, for no other reason other than the fact that we've experienced everything there is to experience. Our souls have been here so many times and have experienced so many lifetimes, and all these souls have experienced so many lifetimes. They've experienced everything there is to experience in the construct. So, according to Darius, the construct is going to come to an end. This is what he's seen. I'm still trying to access that information, but I've talked to multiple people who've talked about the construct ending, and it ends with a celebration. So it's a celebration of all the souls who came here to partake in this particular construct. So, to kind of wrap this thing up, the reality that you think about is real is only a fraction of what reality is outside of your body. I know this because I've seen it with my own soul eyes. I've experienced it. I've flown to different places. I've teleported to different places. I speak with telepathy, so I'm able to hear the words that I'm thinking. And I've experienced all this in a brief amount of time. So I've only done maybe about 6 or 7 different out-of-body experiences, and that's not even close to what some other people have done. So I'm still growing in this spiritual awakening, so to speak. I'm still growing and learning more about how to do this as well, and gaining more access to different realms and gaining more access to different information. But to wrap it all up, the reality is we live right now in what science calls a consensus reality. We all agree upon the things that we can see, smell, taste, touch, and hear. So we all agree that that is what reality is for now. But now we're moving into a different level where people are able to leave their bodies. They call it remote viewing, astral projection, whatever you want to call it. I think there are some differences in some of those things in what we do. But with that being said, it's all part of the great awakening of our souls. So our souls are awakening to what the nature of this is, and that this is not actually real. So it is real based on the 5 senses, but those 5 senses account for less than 1% of everything that is out there, which is insane to think about. Your whole nature of your reality that you live right now is built on less than 1% of everything that is out there in its totality, in the construct even. So again, just to kind of rehash it, we live in a construct. It's a big domed construct. There are 12 heavens. We live in heaven 1. Heaven 12 is basically the heaven in which you go to leave out of the construct. And once you're outside of the construct, there are infinite amount of different constructs that you can experience and delight your soul in. If this is your type of content, watch some of my other videos, hit the like button, subscribe. I will be doing more videos as I have more out-of-body experiences, kind of going through what and I'll be honest, I use this mostly as like a diary for me to kind of keep up with my different experiences and to share them with the rest of the world, because ultimately the great work is this: we want everyone to wake up to the nature of what you truly are. You are an infinite soul. You are a God manifesting itself in flesh. Everything that they say Jesus is, you are the same thing. The only difference is Jesus had already tapped into his abilities before, without all of the distortions, without all of the things holding him back. He was able to tap into those abilities. You have the exact same abilities. This is why in the Bible it talks about you being joint heirs with Jesus. If you know what royalty is, a joint heir is a brother or a sister. It means you are entitled to the same things that that person is. None of us, any one of us, are a special being alone. We are all part of the greater consciousness. You can call it God. I call it the most high frequency, and that frequency is pure love. And so, if you're interested in learning how you can uh, do out of body experiences, control out of body experiences, I'm gonna drop a link for Darius J. Wright's method in the comments. You can go check out his page, check out some of his work, and definitely sign up with him and learn how to do the ADA method so that you can start understanding a greater deal about the reality that we live in. Thank you guys. Peace and blessings.